This market is tough. You've got math and ROI and internal rates of returns and phrases like equity and all of these different options, creative, subject to, BRRRR, STIR, all of these different things. And you're like, I don't know what to do. Somebody help me. I need an umbrella because it's raining math all over my head. It doesn't have to be that way. Christian and I are here to keep you dry and give you a very straight and simple strategy that will work in any market, including today's market. And we have actually used ourselves repeatedly to find deals, get deals, and grab cash flow in markets where other people are not able to. Christian, welcome to Mortgage Mondays.
Appreciate you, David. Happy to be here.
First off, Christian, before we get into this, let me say your hair is looking luscious and fantastic today.
I figured I'd leave it down for at least one episode. I got a couple requests for people who've seen me after business hours, so why not?
So let's get into topic number one. I will describe the strategy, and then Kristen, I'm going to have you explain what loan products someone could use to do it.
Absolutely.
One of the principles of real estate investing is you're always looking to buy properties at less than what they're worth. I call that buying equity. Another is you always want to be buying real estate that you can add value to. I call that forcing equity, but everybody's familiar with these concepts. Then you want to end up with a property that will cash flow. So you often want to add units to it or add structures that could become additional units. That's kind of the name of the game in today's world, trying to take one source of income and turning it into many sources of income in the same property. This can be executed using the tried and true BRRRR method. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to look for properties that are in such bad condition they are not livable. Now in a minute, Christian, I'm going to have you describe what that actually means to a lender, because it doesn't mean it's dilapidated and completely falling apart and you're buying yourself a fire hazard. But if you can find a property that is not in livable condition, you are eliminating 90 to 95% of your competition who's all using conventional loans to buy that property. So you can get a great deal, which in essence helps you buy equity, which is the first part of why the strategy works. Now, Christian, can you explain to us why conventional loans cannot be used to purchase a property that is not in livable condition, and then how that's defined?
Absolutely. Yeah. Whether it be Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, whatever your underwriting guideline is that you're purchasing with, they have property conditions as well as borrower conditions. Everybody knows about the borrower conditions, right? Your debt to income, your loan to value, your down payment, your FICO. What people don't realize, though, unless maybe you're a realtor or in the market, is that the property has to qualify for the loan as well. There needs to be things like a heat source. There needs to be things like a entrance and exit from each individual unit. Can't be a roof that's about to collapse, right? So when David's saying livable, that's what he means, right? Lendable guidelines to the property being able to achieve financing.
So here's some specific examples I've come across in my career that made a property not livable or not habitable. A perfectly fine roof that has one hole in it. I know that doesn't mean perfectly fine, but it doesn't mean the whole roof needs to be collapsed. It's just a roof that has a significant leak makes it non-livable. A property that has the flooring taken out. This sounds crazy, okay? I bought my house that I live in, Christian. You've stayed at this house in Discovery Bay.
Yeah.
In 2014 as a foreclosure because there was carpet missing in one of the bedrooms. That's all that it takes. So sometimes finding a property where the tile floor has been taken out, but the subfloor is still intact, the hardy backer's still in there, or carpeting's been taken out, makes it unlivable. Sometimes removing a stove or a hole in the roof. Like you said, it has to have entrance and exit. So if the front door has been taken out and they just boarded it up or something, that might qualify as a non-habitable property. There are a lot of things that you might not think are significant, but when the appraiser goes to the home, they will tag and say, nope, can't live here because of that factor. Now, the reason that's a benefit to you is you're getting rid of your competition, and that is your biggest enemy in wealth building and real estate investing. It's all the other people listening to this podcast right now who are hearing the same things you are, who are now trying to go execute the same thing that you're doing with their money, just like you are with yours. That's what's making this tricky. So if you can find deals that other people can't, put you in the driver's seat to where you can write offers where you want it to be, rather than where the seller is getting multiple people pitting them against each other. And Christian, would you agree that one of the ways we get better deals in real estate is targeting properties other people are not buying?
100%. Yeah, or targeting properties with bad realtors.
Yes.
Right? Even a bigger one.
That's another one.
Bad listing pictures, bad description, stuff like that, right?
That's a great example. I mean, if you're a person out there having a hard time, an online dating strategy works too. Find the person who uploaded the worst pictures of themselves. You have a much better chance of finding someone. I got out of online dating completely years ago, so this isn't something I have to worry about now. I'm just married to real estate. Number two, you want to be able to find a way to force equity or add value to a property. Now, there are many ways to do this. The traditional way that everyone understands is making it prettier, right? That's a way you can add value to your online dating profile. Put on some makeup, get some better lighting, get a better picture, boom, added value, you're going to get more competition, you're going to have better options. Same thing works in real estate. However, everyone looks at it from that angle. They all know, upgrade the kitchen, upgrade the master bathroom, paint carpet, boom, we're done. That used to get it done. It doesn't really get it done anymore. Now you need to be a little more creative. And one of the ways that Christian and I look to add value to our portfolio is by adding square footage. We like to target houses that are too small for the area that they are in and find a way to add square footage to said home without having to build it from the ground up, because that's expensive. We look for areas that are not being used well. In fact, when we visited Christian's cabin in the Smoky Mountains one time, we were walking around and he's got this really nice loft and this really nice floor plan. We really liked the property. It was the first time that we had seen it. He does long distance investing also. He finds a door. This is like a movie with like an elf like walking through the forest.
This was like a movie
You're
scene.
like, wait, there's stairs going down. It's not a water closet. And he just like shoots down there and I'm going behind him. And he goes, oh my God. And it was like the property was twice as big as what we thought, because it had a massive basement area that had been developed into real estate that was not included in the square footage of the home, which now if Christian wanted, he could turn into a second unit. He could turn into a like tons of bedrooms he could put in there. It's kind of being used right now as a recreation area with a pool table and video games, and you could put an in-house movie theater room in there. There's all kinds of options for what you could do. In fact, it even had a really nice bar area that could be turned into a whole separate kitchen. If you wanted to run it as like a duplex, you'd be able to do that. That is hidden value in real estate that a lot of people would not notice, especially because in that area, properties are only allowed to be advertised per the number of how big the septic tank is. So that's probably like a 2,800 square foot cabin that's advertised as a 1-bedroom.
1,400 1-bedroom, yeah. And it's probably 3,000 square feet. You're absolutely right.
Because of that bottom area, right? So now you're buying a 1,400 1-bathroom that other people pass, or 1-bedroom that other people pass up, but it's really a 2,800 like 3-bedroom that could be maybe even more. That's a deal Christian got, a killer steal on. The agent would not stop talking about what good of a deal he got for Christian on that, because Christian saw an angle that other people missed. Are you doing the same thing? Are you looking for ways to force equity in the deals that you're buying, or are you just looking at it in its present condition and trying to make it work? One of the loan products that you can use, like Christian mentioned, is a bridge product or short-term financing. It's kind of like hard money lending, but at much better rates than what you'd expect to get, where you can buy properties that are not in habitable condition. Now, Christian, is there also something they can do using that same product when it comes to putting money into the house to rehab it, make it worth more?
Yeah, 100%. And bridge, hard money, private money, whatever route you choose to take, many options will allow you to obviously finance the purchase of the property, but also finance those renovations, right? So if you're going in with a plan of adding a bedroom, adding a bathroom, converting a sunroom into a new room, like these things that David said, obviously the name of the game in real estate appraisal is the square footage. Many of you guys who have ever seen an appraisal, the value of the property isn't until on like the second or the third page, right? It's on the first page is the price per square foot in the area, all the other measurables, right? Those are the things that impact properties the biggest, and utilizing the strategy of where you can not only get in, and obviously a 20% down payment, whatever is required on the purchase price, but also being able to finance 70, 80, 90, sometimes with experienced people, even 100% of your renovations with certain loan products is the difference of getting a steal versus not, right? And you guys can imagine if you're buying just to add some numbers here, if you're buying a $300,000 house, you're 20% down, $60,000. But if you're experienced in the bank's eyes and you get 100% of that renovation financed, we're talking about getting an extra $50,000, $100,000 potentially to go make this thing really valuable. And obviously then comes into having the right contractor and, all the things that come with that. But the loan product is the first step.
Yes. Now let's say that you're looking at a property that at 1,100 square feet, 1,200 square feet is worth $400,000. But if it was 2,500 square feet, it could be worth $650,000. You could add $250,000 of equity by just making it bigger if it's in a nicer area. You might be able to do that without having to literally build a whole nother structure on there, just developing the space that's already there that isn't being used well. For $50,000 to $70,000, you can add $250,000 of equity. That's a pretty damn good ROI.
Yeah.
If you have the vision to use it. And we have a loan product that hopefully other people can get their hands on. I don't know if they all have the same things as we do, but this principle will work, is looking for the same loan that will let you buy it at less than the $400,000 that it's worth, because other people have skipped it because it's not habitable. So maybe you get it for $325,000. Then you go add value to it through the rehab. You've now made money in 2 different ways on the same property. But wait, there's more. Once you have this property that you've added square footage to and you've bought beneath market value, You can also add units to it when you're adding the square footage. I call this forced cash flow. You are adding things that will make the property cash flow more. In Christian's cabin example, this could have been a whole nother unit underneath it. But many times this is people converting a 3-car garage and they take 2 of the cars and turn it into an ADU. There are DSCR products that will say, hey, you've now made this thing cash flow more. So you're getting cash flow from here and cash flow from there. We can see that the rents would be this much money for these units. So now we can get you approved based on the cash flow of the property. Can you explain how those products work, Christian?
You have to get pre-approved for the exit loan, right? You don't want to get into a situation where you get a short-term, a 12-month and 18-month loan, sometimes even a 6-month loan, and then you got a balloon payment due and you can't pay it off and the house isn't done and you don't qualify for the exit strategy once you get there. That's how to mess up a BRRRR 101. That's like a don't BRRRR, right? If you're working with a professional that knows how to pre-approve the exit strategy, knows how to estimate the property value, knows how to calculate, obviously, your income. A lot of hard money lenders don't do conventional or DSCR financing. Yeah. They're just hard money lenders, right? So they don't care about your exit strategy. They care about the 12 months of interest you're going to pay them and the 4 points it's going to take to close it up front, right? Whereas if you work with a broker, a lender that has access to multiple programs, they know how to get you out of that loan, which is almost even more important than getting you into it. So just clarifying that. But how these loan products work, obviously in the back end, everybody who's heard of a DSCR, those are just 4 letters. They don't mean anything. All it means is that you qualify with the property's projections instead of your own, the property's income, so to speak.
Yep.
So instead of your W-2 income where you got to make X amount of money to have a 45% debt to income and all this hoopla, it's does this property cash flow? Is your mortgage $2,000 a month and it rents for $2,500? Good job. The property qualifies. Put the down payment and you're good to go. Big misconception is, like David said, if you qualify for a conventional mortgage, don't only limit yourself to a DSCR loan. Obviously, it's easier on documentation because there's no income. It's easier on processing because it's, there's less stuff to underwrite. But your loan is going to be a more competitive loan conventional. Once again, this is a good reason not to only reach out to a lender that only does DSCR loans. There's many of them. Have a lender that makes sure they're going to place you with the right product. If that's conventional, DSCR, hard money, whatever it is, don't just limit yourself to one box because you heard it on some podcast somewhere.
These are ways that you can find property that will work in today's competitive market.
And on top of all that, from people who have used the programs themselves.
Great point.
Right? I mean, I've used bridge loans. I've used DSCR loans. I've used conventional loans for both myself and David. Believe it or not, guys, I do David's
yes,
loans,
does.
Right? I mean, from the people who do them themselves, that's such a huge thing. I can't tell you how many loan officers don't own a home. If you practice what you preach and you believe that real estate's the way to go, you should probably be doing it yourself, right? Which we are.
I can confirm. Christian has come to me and said, hey, I found a lender, and they were like, wait a minute, the David Greene? That's the guy you're doing the loan for? He's like, yes. And since I'm bringing you David's deal, I'm going to need you to approve these other clients too to throw it in there. And guess what? You get that home team discount.
That's absolutely right. I am not above using David's name to get better deals for our clients. That's absolutely right.
So take advantage of my name and Christian's resources by reaching out. Christian, how can people get a hold of you?
Absolutely. TheOneBrokerage.com is our website. My direct email is Christian@TheOneBrokerage.com. If you are interested in submitting a loan application, though, our best email that gets you straight to the source is intake, INTAKE, @TheOneBrokerage.com.
Yes. Now, here's some practical ways you can apply this. Take your favorite real estate agent, a person that you know and trust, or use the BiggerPockets agent finder to find an agent in your area if it's not where Christian and I work. Tell them what you're looking for. I want a property that is not habitable, that I can add square footage to, and that's going to be in demand for a rental property so that you're not adding units to something that's not going to rent out. Contact a loan officer and explain this is what you want to do. And then you've got a blueprint that all you got to do is execute on, put the time in. This will work in any market. I'm excited to be able to share this with you guys. It is competitive out there. You're not going to find the easy stuff anymore, but that's okay because everyone else is looking for easy. If you're the person willing to go a little bit further, try a little bit harder, you will be the victor. Christian, thank you for joining me today. Always nice to have you on a Mortgage Monday. We will see you guys on the next one.